This is Hazel. She is Copper Top and Boaz's puppy, and she is going to her new home today. So she's getting her final Green Acres Farms spa day. The first thing we're going to do is knock off the little tips of her very sharp toenails. We don't really need to clip them. We only need to just kind of knock down the little sharp tip so that she will not pick her new mommy's clothing on her ride home. And she's very curious about it. One of the things you can do with your dachshunds to help them be accustomed to either nail clipping or dremeling is to play with their paws and touch their toenails individually. Just a real quick little knockoff of that sharp tip is all I'm aiming for today. Ooh, hers are particularly sharp. Girl, you got some nails. You're doing good. Doing great, Hazel.
So you have boyfriend? How come you don't have boyfriend?
Ooh, that is still sharp. Let's give it another go. Hazel is going home along with a litter mate who's already had her spa day, and you may hear that dog in the background saying, "Hey, more attention for me." We only have two claws in the front paws of our dachshunds here at Green Acres. But you don't want to forget that little nail or it will get real sharp. And dachshunds need their nails looked at home about once a month. And you only want to cut off or dremel a small amount. When they get older, it's a whole lot easier to just do it with clippers. But if you clip too much, you will get into the quick because the quick grows out with the nail, which is why the toenails need to be tended to once a month and just knocked down a little bit to keep them from getting long and becoming a health hazard and something that you feel like you need to cut a lot off of, because then you're going to have a very distressed and injured puppy with a bleeding toenail. And that's not good. All right, girl, I know you're getting a little impatient. Hey, you are about to think you died and went to heaven when you go home to your new mommy. They have been waiting and dreaming of this day to come and get you. All right. No sharp nails. Let's see that little dew claw. See that little tiny dew claw right there? Seems to always be the sharpest one. Good girl. Now we've got to do the back. We're halfway done. Halfway done. This little quick job I'm doing would not be sufficient once she was an adult. And I prefer to switch to clippers. And a lot of people just find the task too difficult and they take it to the vet. But
Swing around a little bit so we can see.
Since I am a breeder and I have multiple dogs, I have a total of 4 breeding dogs, 3 females and 1 male. I go ahead and do it myself. Almost done. Last paw on this. And then we're going to give you a little bath. One more nail. Almost done, I think. That one's like you've been digging with it or something. It's all ready. That one's a little sharp. Almost done, girl. You gonna walk away? I got your paw. I was just using that on a low setting. All right, now Hazel's going to get her bath. So I make sure that the water temperature is and stays warm, neither hot nor cold. My dogs, our breeding stock, are not fond of water. If you can persuade one of our puppies to enjoy swimming with you, I would love to have videos of it. I double check the water temperature during the entire bath time. I make sure that my wrist is very comfortable with the temperature because I do not want to scald or chill a puppy. It's summertime and the air conditioner's running in the house. Now, if you have a problem with fleas, which we do not, I haven't seen a single flea this summer, I would go with Dawn dish detergent first for her bath. But since I don't have any fleas, I don't need to do that. But Dawn dish detergent, as harsh as it is, will kill fleas on contact and makes an excellent dog soap. And then I would rinse that off and then use just a commercially prepared pet shampoo. You could make your own. Get on the internet. YouTube is a wonderful place to look for resources and ideas and natural ways to care for your dog. But she has no fleas. If they were on there, we would see them. She is so light colored that they would stand out, but there's not a one. So I didn't do the Dawn dish detergent bath first. I don't want to get soap in her face. And now I've got to rinse her. Now she's small, and I can almost hold her with one hand, but when she gets bigger I would not be able to. Not a dachshund with that long back. You want to make sure that their bodies are supported. I want her to feel as comfortable as possible. She doesn't like baths, not really, or she would be the first one if she did. She seems to be doing pretty well. Child abduction alerts going off in Spalding County. She's looking at me like, Mommy, Mommy, is this okay? Am I going to be okay? If you ever have a problem with fleas, you will need to check up under their little armpits or leg pits, whatever you want to call them. All four. I don't like the temperature. It's getting a little warmer than I like. Okay. That's where the fleas will tend to go, and as you bathe them, the fleas would go to the head. So if I were dealing with a dog who had or might have fleas, I would start shampooing the neck region first to stop all fleas from climbing onto her head. She's doing extremely well. Good girl. This dog was the runt of the litter, if you want to call her that. She was a little bit smaller than the other two puppies in the litter. There wasn't a big difference in size. When Ruth has a litter, it's often 6 puppies. And her biggest puppy will end up being twice the size of her smallest puppy in the litter. And that's a true runt, in my opinion. But it's almost a misnomer with regards to Hazel. Okay, now, the next thing I'm going to do is get her ears very clean. A dachshund's ears need to be looked at once a month, minimum. I find it to be a sufficient time frame, unless you find that there's a problem with their ears, in which case you would begin doing it at least once a week until the problem were resolved. I do not want to leave her ears wet when I'm done. That will be very important. Now, Hazel has a little bit of eye weeping. It's not major, but I use a wonderful product from Wonderside. I shake it up, spray it on her eyes, and she could actually have her eyes washed every day if you wanted to. It's hard to tell whether or not such a problem bothers the dog at all. She doesn't scratch at her eyes in any way, but this helps to keep the eye area as clean as possible and deal with any allergies that she might have. My sister has a huge 65-pound boxer that is allergic to absolutely everything. So Diana, take a look at this product from Wonderside. It's Rescue Eye Drops. It might help your dog Sabin. Good girl. Good girl. Now we're going to check those ears, and because she's going home, I'm going to go ahead and use Wonderside's ear drops. This is not medicinal, but it is a very good product that can be used as often as you need it to help keep the ears very clean. If you see black in the ears, you have a problem, and you need to start tending to the ear on a weekly basis at least. A very bad problem you would need to tend to every day. If your dog shakes its head back and forth, that's also an indication that ear mites have gotten into the ear, and they leave a black residue in the ear that you would want to treat with a medicinal ear drop. This mite would do it. I'm not sure. You could do some research and see. Years ago, I had a dog that I discovered had real bad ear mites, and as soon as I started treating him, he was better, and it was a good thing. The main thing about the ears is when the bath is done, absolutely no wet inside of the ears. That can lead to infection. I sometimes even take a little bit of a Q-tip and gently make sure I've gotten all those little tiny folds, because she is so small and it's hard to get that cotton ball in there. And I want it dry and clean. There you go. Good girl. Okay, now if she were an older dog and she were having her monthly spa day, I would spray her teeth with tartar control. You can actually get a good product from Wonderside. I currently have something that I picked up somewhere, probably Walmart. While we're at it, if you ever have a dog with a skin problem and they're scratching the hair off, this product right here, I get it from Amazon. It is silver colloidal gel. It's very cooling to the skin. You can put some on your own and skin and feel it. And you can rub that. I would use a clean finger every time I dip it into my container to keep my container clean, but that will kill any germs and allow that spot to begin to heal very rapidly. She doesn't have any skin problems that I need to deal with, so I'm not putting any on her. Now, even though we don't have any fleas at Green Acres Farm at this point, I am still going to send her home with a light spray of Wonderside's flea and tick spray. It smells really good. It's completely natural. There's not even any concern about anybody touching the puppy after she's sprayed. And it's kind of oily a little bit. I make sure I don't spray it in her eyes, but I do put it at her head, since that's where fleas would have a tendency to go, and under her neck. And then I'm going to put just a little bit on her little belly, because the fleas would find her belly and say, "Ooh, nice soft baby skin." What's actually interesting is that if any dog on my farm had fleas, this would be the dog. She's the youngest. and she's the lightest color, and that's what fleas do. They go to light colored things. You've heard the little trick of walking through your house in white socks, and if fleas jump on your white socks, you know you have fleas. So anyway, they will get on the cream color dogs first, and they will get on the youngest, softest skinned dog on the property first. So not a flea, washed off, and that's a real good thing. I'm going to spray my yard with Wonderside's yard spray this afternoon after I mow that grass real short, just as a preventative. And it's a perfectly natural product that is safe around children and around pets. And I don't like to put pesticides on my yard, especially where my animals and where I am going to be, because I just don't want to be exposed to that kind of stuff. So I love the Wonderside products, and that's how come I tell y'all about them, is because it's just such a useful company. You just go online to wonderside.com probably, and place an order just like you would at Amazon. Amazon may be carrying some of their products as well. All right, she's had her nails dremelled, she's had her bath, she's had her eyes cleaned. Not all dogs need an eye cleaning, but she does. And she's had eardrops put in her ears, and her ears have been dried. She's been sprayed with something to help make sure the fleas don't find her nice, soft little skin. And she is all ready for her mama. She's a very calm dog. Our dachshunds here at Green Acres Farms are very, very sweet and calm. They are dachshunds, so yes, they do bark. I get that question all the time. Are they going to bark? Yep. They're going to bark their little heads off at certain things, and the rest of the time just be very, very calm. They make very good household pets. They're stubborn as all get out, and so you have to train them. So she is probably going to be in a kennel with her litter mate for her first weeks and maybe even months of life until she's well trained. We don't want her to find the wrong place and decide that it's the right spot to potty in the house, because then she has to be untrained, and that becomes real difficult. So if you keep her under supervision at all times, then you can scoop her up and take her to the right potty place, whether that is a pad in the house or a patch of grass outside. So while she is so young, there's almost no worry about her running away from you. In fact, she's going to be badly underfoot for a while, because that's her thing. She loves her humans, and you want to be safe. You want to shuffle along as you walk when she's out and staying with you, and then you'll have to learn how to carefully use your foot to push her out of the way without hurting her, until she learns not to walk right in front of you. Walking right in front of you is a dangerous thing that will hurt both her and you. All right, she's had her spa day.
GreenAcresDachshunds.com